What is up, everybody? Welcome back to This Week in Bullshit. It has been a couple of weeks, and a couple of weeks too long. I'm your host, Justin Proper, and with me, as usual, is Spartan Jeremy, the dick from the UK.
I pulled my shoulder sleeping somehow. Don't sleep, it's bad for you.
That's very shocking. I have no idea how you do that. It must be a British thing. And we also got two members of the Queen's Council. First off, the lovely, according to Christie, also the host of People of Walmart.
Hi, thank you for letting me come on. I love the People of Walmart streams. I get so much, they're like, whoa. But thank you for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. You are always the best. On. And of course, always the lovely, and look how beautiful she looks right now. Oh my God, that light. My goodness. Lorena Krill, how are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. I'm doing well, Justin. Happy to be here with all of you in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're happy to have you here. So speaking of the chat, let's say hello. Oh my goodness. Christie, you didn't have to. You didn't have to. I have to do
the customary poop emoji.
I was going to say
the unicorn.
What's with the unicorn though?
Is that a unicorn or a doomicorn?
I think it's a unicorn. Well, maybe it is a doomicorn. Is that like one of the things that Doomcock has?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
It is now. Doomicorn. I've heard so much about it.
Is that a custom one?
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I just heard Doomicon just sounds really cool.
That sounds like a convention.
No, it's just when people start posting lots of unicorns in the chat.
I've been to some bad
gotcha.
conventions, so that would fit.
We got Runner Studios with probably one of the best avatars ever. I love it. Zack Snyder, hashtag Zack Snyder's Justice League 2021. That's going to be our first topic. We're going to get to that in just a second. Merry frickin' Mayhem. Mary, thank you.
Mary.
Thank you for the super sticker, the heart. That warms mine. Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. Spartan Jeremy says dislike for waiting. Screw you, Spartan. It's a taste of my own medicine, I suppose. Superman Adam Shawhan, dude. One of the reasons why I am here today. He says yes. 24 hours. 24 hours of what? I don't know. What is he talking about?
I don't know. 24. I don't know.
Last I checked, it was
maybe the last 24 hours.
I don't know.
It's been quite interesting the last 24 hours. We got two wins that we're going to talk about today. Usually we talk about bullshit that's happened, like things that we're pissed off or angry about. But no, we have two huge wins for fans that we're going to get into. So just after we talk to you lovely people in the chat, Will Gentry says, aren't you an hour earlier than usual? No. No, it's 7 p.m. It's usually did you just pop in? There we go. Hey, come on, Will. Come on in. Hi, Will. How you doing?
Hi, Will.
Hey, Will.
This is Will Gentry. He's one of the mods.
Hi, Will. It feels like it was just yesterday.
Hello. Hello, indeed.
Just a minute.
Stevie J Reviews says...
Right, while I'm here, just going to interrupt you a second. Doomicorns. They're the same thing. It's just he calls them Doomicorns.
What?
The
unicorns on the sticker, the super sticker.
Oh.
The Doomicorn.
Oh.
Yeah, so they just became called Doomicorns. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They're not special. The point I was going to make.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's not got a special version.
I was very unaware of that. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me know about that and educating me on it. I'm going to get through the chat real quick. By the way, Will, welcome to the channel for the first time. You always have a link. You never come in for some reason. You are more than welcome to stay for the time being.
I was going to the other week, maybe last week. I think I was asleep. I was going to the week before, but by the time I realised you were on, you already had 6 people. So,
Well, last week there wasn't a show anyway, so you didn't
Yeah.
miss anything.
It's all good.
well, there you go.
Stevie J Review says, "Good day, Justin. Good day, all." Well, good day to you, Stevie J Reviews. Stevie J, always great to see you here. Happy Dinosaur 8000, who literally got avenged for being funny. So happy day to all. And he does a great job with the moderation. Curd77 says, "Hail everyone." Hail you, Curd77. Hail to you. The Price is Right review. Thank you for the super chat. I greatly appreciate that. It says, "Sup peeps, great vid defending Back to the Future." Well, thank you. Thank you. I have 2 of them up right now. If the mods could put both the first one and the second one in the chat, I'd greatly appreciate that. We are going to get to that a little later in the show because it was something that really just blew up. I mean, my God, I did not expect that. I thought this was going to be nothing. Oh, my God. The Fandom Menace. Noah, you don't have to do this. Thank you. It says, "Hail to the panel." Hail to you, Fandom Menace.
The entire Fandom Menace.
The entire Fandom Menace says hail to us on the panel, and hail to the entire Fandom Menace. We salute you. Darkness says, "Hello, people," and well, hello to you, Darkness. Very nice to see you here. Thank you, Will, for saying you all need educating on the Doomacorn.
No joke. I was at a convention once and I had a t-shirt with like a unicorn and it said "feeling stabby." It was so cute. I had to get that t-shirt.
That's ridiculous. I love it. Trey Courtney says, "Hail to you, Trey."
Trey?
Superfan out of Sean is saying hello to Will, but not any of us. I appreciate that. So Will, for you. And he's saying that you're awesome. Yay. No, nothing.
I didn't want to say it myself.
According to Christie, yes, smash that like button, smash that melee button, as Jeremy would say. Yes, do that indeed. Okay, now he says hello. Well, hello to you. Hello to you, Adam.
You can definitely use that phrase because I was actually the one who originally came up with it.
Oh, really? That's right.
Yeah, because Jeremy was going melee the smash button. He needed a British education.
He really did. He really did. TWTG content says, hail to you.
Hail.
Let's see before we get started. Yo, what's up? People says Bone, good to see you back here, man. Good to see you. PJ needs to do a 24-hour stream, LOL. How about I do that at 10K? I'll do that. How about that?
It'll happen.
Well, you know what? I would be
probably
fine with hitting 10K. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. So, yeah, I'll do that at 10K as a celebration. I'll do it for 24 hours.
Cool.
Hail Zack Snyder and chat. Runner Studios. Yeah, I'd say this is a win for him, a win for the fans. We're gonna get that into that in just a second. Alpha Martutia says, "Hey, why is Lethal hosting the show? Where's Justin?" What are you talking about?
It's the beanie.
I gotcha. Oh, I get it.
Lethal's been wearing a beanie because it's winter in Australia, or what they call winter.
Yeah.
So he's been in a beanie.
Yeah, winter in Australia is like winter in Florida. It's like 70 degrees.
I will admit, I am a little confused by the shirt, Justin.
By the shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, so...
That's the Beatles.
Yeah, I know.
What's so confusing about it?
It just seems very odd being on an American, I guess.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
That's a popular shirt. I actually visited that crosswalk when I was in the UK. So that's like a big thing for Americans to go over and do. Take a picture there. And for me, it was there and the Starbucks down from where Buckingham Palace was for me. So those were the two big, and Harrods. That three things I had to do.
So guys, we got a surprise guest in here.
Who do we have?
Guess who?
We have
my YouTube bestie.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Mary, how you
yeah.
Holy Toledo. Yeah, I can totally see the lethal thing now that I'm thinking about it.
It's been a while.
What's up, guys?
You grew out of us.
No, I didn't.
No,
Hello,
no,
hello, hello.
I don't know what you're talking about. You talk about the Jeremys? That's like everybody.
Nobody even asks me to do a Jeremy stream anymore. I could try to find my voluptuous Jeremy thing somewhere though. I could put that up.
Voluptuous Jeremy. That's scary.
Dude, it was bad. It was really bad.
We called her Wookiee Jeremy because of the hair. It was a little mean.
Wookiee Jeremy.
Well, anyways, let's get into the first topic.
Well, I've got a thing
first
for
and
furries.
foremost, yes, Runner Studios, we're to talk about the Snyder Cut 2021. This was just recently announced. I think this was just yesterday. There was this live stream that Zack Snyder was having. It was like a Man of Steel watch party. And I remember Lethal was hosting a stream that was showing this, like a streamception, if you will. And at the end of this stream, he announced that HBO Max is going to be having the Snyder Cut. Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be released on HBO Max. So all those years, all that time where Ryan Kennel and Lethal Lightning would not shut the fuck up about this stupid Snyder Cut. It is worth it. It is worth it. I mean, like, seriously, like the amount of times that like I would go into a discussion about the DeLorean live stream and they would be talking about the Snyder Cut. I would be going on Sports Wars. Jeremy and Ryan are talking about the Snyder Cut.
Well, Jeremy's not a fan, right?
Yeah.
Jeremy's not a fan of the Snyder Cut thing or whatever. Not that I think that he's against it or whatever. And I don't think anybody's against it per se. But I made my opinions on it pretty clear last night. That I do think this is important for fans. I also don't think it's going to do any good. So,
But the thing that really boggles my mind about it is even the Snyder Cut fanboys, they admit it's not going to fix anything and it's going to be shit.
right.
So,
Wow, some of them do.
why were they so bothered about? Well, no, if you talk to almost any of them, they will admit, yeah, it's not, because it's not the whole of what Zack wanted to do. It's still only part of his story.
Yeah.
So they all admit fully that it's not going to be everything they want. So
Yeah, I think
I never saw the appeal.
It's part of the problem here with this, though. And I acknowledge that this is a good thing for fans, right? In terms of them listening to everything. It's a good thing for them to listen to fans, but it's kind of a moot point if the product we get still isn't any good, right? Like, you have to do both, right? This is a multifaceted thing. It's an important victory for fans in that it means studios are capable of listening to the fans and hearing it, and that is important. I do have questions about whether or not fans would even be demanding this if Zack Snyder hadn't kind of pushed it and poked it and prodded it along for so long. I'm not sure that this is something that there really would have even been a quote unquote demand for, as it were. Not that there wouldn't been a few people out there going, yeah, this is the thing and we want it. But Snyder Cut, wait, what was that? Yeah. Yes, and I'm not taking away those, like I'm not saying it's gonna be a terrible thing, guys. It could be good. It's a possibility, but you have to keep in mind. So look, Batman versus Superman had a 62% on Rotten Tomatoes, okay? From the audience score. It had a 28% from the critics, okay? This was not an enjoyed movie, all right? Man of Steel, which did better, is still very problematic. On this one. There is a group of people, there is a section of fans who really love these movies. No one's denying that. Mm-hmm. But this is not an all-encompassing fandom. DCEU fans as a whole are not clamoring for this. it's Snyderites, right? And that's fine. I'm not diminishing the Snyderites' demand for that. That's fine. But I am saying that in terms of a victory for DCEU fans all over, only insofar as they listened to fans well after the fact and gave them a sort of scraps, here it is on HBO Max kind of thing. So I feel like the people who are excited about this, I'm not trying to take away your excitement. I'm really not. I'm going to let you finish. I'm really happy for you, and I will let you finish, right? But yes, I'm making a Kanye reference.
Yes.
But
I like that meme, by the way.
But I do not necessarily feel that this is beneficial overall to the DCEU or the fans of it. I feel like this is a victory, but not necessarily the overall huge victory that everybody's celebrating and setting fireworks off for. That, you know what I mean? Like, and look, if I watch it and it's great, I will concede it's a great movie. But we're not talking about this replacing the Justice League that was put out in theaters. This is just you getting your version of it, and what we're going to do with it from there. It's still a universe that didn't have things set up properly, right? Mm-hmm. You didn't have a solo Batman movie. You didn't have a solo Flash movie. You didn't have a solo Aquaman movie. You didn't have a solo Cyborg movie. Most of these characters, I see you over there, most of these characters did not have what they needed. So you're muted, Justin. How long have you been muted?
Wait, what do you mean Aquaman didn't have a solo movie?
Prior to the release of Justice League, there was no solo Aquaman movie.
Oh, I see.
Not set up before this movie comes out. And if you're watching this in the order of release and in the order that it happens canonically speaking, it's Aquaman. We don't know anything about him yet. We don't even really know that much about. We don't know that much about most of these characters. The vast majority of the cast.
No, you don't. All we know about them is the emails Bruce Wayne saw or looked at in BVS. That's all we know. Apart from Superman and Wonder Woman, obviously. But the other three, we just had the emails. But no, I think you're right. I think this could possibly cause problems for DC overall. Because if it is really good, then we're going to get all the Snyder fanboys are going to start now demanding that they continue on with this iteration, with this Superman, not this Flash, but this Wonder Woman, this Aquaman, this Batman, even though most of them have basically said, I'm not doing it anymore. And DC themselves have basically said, we're changing up now. So,
I know for me,
could cause a problem.
I was just going to say, like, wow, Andrew. Like, damn. He got it into a little bit of hot fire with these Snyder fanboys the other day. I'm gonna see if I can pull it.
Upset Mara.
I got some of it, which I could in a way I could understand this point. Put it this way, I'm an MCU girl, completely. The first DCEU movie that I saw was Man of Steel. And I was not impressed, and I was pissed off by that movie. I really was. I did not like it. It did not make me want to see any other DCEU movie until Aquaman showed up, and that was Jason Momoa, but that's a totally, totally different thing.
Right.
So I saw that, and I liked it. And I liked it enough to say, okay, I'll probably give the DCEU another look. However, the fan just clamor over how bad Batman versus Superman was. I was aware of that. And then I hear about the Snyder cut, and I'm thinking, how is this going to change things? I love the passion about it. I love the fact that it seems that they were listened to. But as a casual fan who's not really that invested in the DCEU, I'm kind of like, what does this change anything? And it's going to HBO Max. It's not going to theaters. It's going to HBO Max.
Yeah, and this isn't even.
And it's not even coming out until next year.
Yes, 2021.
So,
right, and is it considered a part of the official canon or not?
No, it's not. This is an appeasement. And look, I'm grateful that they're listening and they are giving it, but this ultimately has. And this has no real impact on the DCEU. Now, if it had been originally released, right? If it originally had been released in this format and that it actually had some impact on the canon, then I would say, okay, or if they were replacing it and they were releasing it in theaters now and saying, okay, so this is the route we're taking here. We're making an actual step. But no, this is just about money. This is about getting people to subscribe to HBO Max. This has nothing to do, because they're chicken shit. They're not actually making an impact on the DCEU. They're giving you a cookie so you'll shut up. And hopefully getting your money in the process.
We're losing viewers because you're shitting on the Snyder
Basically,
Cut.
yeah.
I'm not shitting on the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's
Runner
crapping on
Studios
it.
has
We're
left the building.
We're just
Well,
bringing up a couple of observations.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I'm just joking. I'm
know.
kidding. No, but I mean,
if you
you guys all bring up good points. Like, yes, it won't have any impact on the canon. It won't really do much aside from, as Mary, as you said, it'll just appease the fans. But I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that in isolation. But if it doesn't have an impact on the overall story that they're trying to tell, what is the point of it? I understand that entirely. But at the same time, it's important to have this, director's cut, because I do think that it does promote creativity. And people have compared this, and correct me if I'm wrong, if this is a bad comparison, let me know. I think of it kind of like as the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2. Where,
I've got an alternate comparison.
No, this isn't like the Donner cut. Because people wouldn't shut up about that for like 2 decades.
No, this is more like the J.J. Abrams cut of the Rise
the
of
Donner
Skywalker.
cut happened. Yeah, the Donner cut happened because Richard Donner wanted to make Superman 2, but some behind the scenes stuff happened and he got kicked out. So somebody else made it. And the Donner cut was basically Richard Donner just taking the film that was made like 20 years later and cutting it up himself. So creating his own sort of version of it. There weren't fans demanding for it. It was just something Richard Donner himself wanted to do. So it's different in that sense.
I thought there were fans definitely demanding for it. Not like in the same way, but...
I mean, I love Superman too, but I hadn't heard of the Donner cut until
not
2
to the
weeks
same
ago.
level, not to the same degree.
All right,
But I mean,
it had no big fanfare.
yeah, but that's just kind of the comparison that I would draw. But hold on a second, Spartan. I want to go back to you though. I want to go back to you. What's the better comparison?
My comparison is the J.J. Abrams cut of the Rise of Skywalker.
Go on.
Right. We've love it or hate it. There are people who like JJ for his work on Alias and Lost.
Right, in a sense.
Right.
Well, hold on, Will. Let him finish.
There are people who like JJ for his work on Alias or Lost. They're a relatively small group. The large majority just don't see it for whatever reason. We've seen, like with JJ, we've seen Snyder's previous work in this universe. Just because it's the director's version as they wanted to tell the story doesn't mean the story's going to be good.
Right.
Or even
and
decent.
it may be. Look, if it is good, then I'll be the first to admit it if it's good, right? Of course I'm going to watch this, but ultimately I don't see what impact this has on anything or how it's genuinely beneficial. And it does sort of feel like, well, how many years do you have to bitch, whine, moan, and complain in order to get handed a chopped up, in multi-parted series version of a movie you were supposed to get a theatrical cut version of that ultimately doesn't have any impact on the canon, right? This does feel like you're being given a cookie, patted on the head, and told to go away, but also please give us your money for the cookie. So yeah, right. 4 years. It's just, is he frozen?
Yep.
For anybody else? Or okay, sorry.
A little bit.
But yeah.
Me?
Oh no, I was talking about Will.
Yeah, Will's frozen. He'll be back soon.
But yeah, like it's one of those things that I feel like ultimately,
Basically, yeah.
I acknowledge that this is a win because they did eventually listen to fans. even if it was a section of fans, like maybe that's even more important if you think about it. Maybe it's even more important that they listen to a section of fans because at this point, the Star Wars fan base is so split that you could call us a section of fans, even if I believe that we're the original fans, even if I believe that we are the quote unquote true fans, right? I suppose you could make an argument that Snyderite fans are fans of the beginning of the DCEU in terms of the movies, and so maybe they're the true fans of this series, right? Like there's an argument to be made there, and I don't disavow that, or I'm not for refusing to acknowledge that, but I'm saying that like it is still a section of fans, and so I don't know. This is complicated. This is a really complicated thing. I don't ultimately feel like this will do any good, even if the movie's fantastic. It doesn't have any bearing on canon. So I just feel like,
It's a lot of parts to this.
Well, look, and there's lots of reasons to be frustrated with
B82. Wait, there's
I mean, we were thinking that, but
wow.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
I mean that there are fans of Disney Star Wars as well, so I guess there's
fans of
something
not
for everything.
Batman,
There-
not
well-
Superman, not Flash. Okay, all right, the Flash. All right, that guy. Fuck
Maybe-
that guy. I
maybe-
don't like Ezra Miller. He can go fuck himself. I don't even care. I don't even. No. Flash.
Aye.
No. Mm-mm.
You
No.
can kiss my grits.
Well,
You're being
so
polite, and I
let-
am.
let me
Heteronormal of
think
patriarchy. Oh. Ugh.
maybe we should put that into perspective. There are people who want to be fans of the DCEU, right?
They have faith. They have faith. They're passionate. They're DC over Marvel probably most of their lives. So they want it to be good. So they see these good qualities about it. Like they try to have like the positives that they really like outweigh all the negatives, all the flaws, and sometimes they overlook that. That happens with every single franchise though.
Yeah.
But what makes this different? I'm sorry, Mary, I interrupted you. But like, what makes this like any different from that? Like, what makes this Snyder Cut so special? Like, why did this get so much of a hype? I don't understand it.
Why. Because the people who are fans of Man of Steel and liked the take, the new take, right? And there's an argument to be made here for when you're going through the comic books that you do get different iterations of superheroes, right? And so this is a different take. Yeah.
So Generation Production says, so Justin, you didn't want to get flashed, huh?
Jokes.
Oh man.
I'm uncomfortable.
I have a point I want to make when Mary's finished.
Well,
Something's just occurred to me.
The people who are fans of this are fans of the different take, right? They're fans of the alternative, the option, as it were, the different take on Batman, on Superman. And a lot of it carries over from the sort of realistic, I don't want to say realistic, the sort of different gritty feel that you got with Superman. This is a different Superman, right? Then there are a lot of people who really don't like that take, right? And so it's perfectly acceptable and reasonable to say this is a different Superman. That's okay. You're allowed to say that. You're allowed to like a different Superman. But it's okay for people to not be comfortable with that either. And a lot of people weren't comfortable with it. And then there are plenty of people who liked the Batman versus Superman. And so those are the people who are excited about this because they enjoyed what Zack Snyder did. And they're entitled to do so. And I don't in any way want to diminish that for them. But it's also important to recognize that these are not the same characters a lot of people grew up with. These are not the same. A lot of people grew up with Batman, the animated series, Superman, the animated series, Justice League, the animated series. And so they expected to get those iterations. And instead we got Zack Snyder's take on it. And so this is a multifaceted issue. And so fans of Zack Snyder are happy. People who aren't fans of Zack Snyder are sitting there going, yeah, I don't care. This does nothing for me.
Yep. Andrew's correct.
I'm curious about this because it's just occurred to me when the DC universe started to move away from the Snyder vision with Wonder Woman, Aquaman, I almost called him Captain Marvel. The real Captain Marvel, Shazam. There was a very distinct increase in quality of the movies.
Yes.
Well, maybe not quality.
Increase in reception.
Yeah.
Positive reception.
So I'm curious as to how that sort of relates to things in this situation.
Well, near as I can tell, Snyderites aren't opposing those movies. They're not. And in fact, you have people like Lethal, who's just head over heels for Wonder Woman, right? Like Gal Gadot's his dream chick, right?
No.
That's
Oh,
the goddess.
yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
the goddess.
It's like
right?
praise the
Yeah.
goddess.
Yeah, her and Brie Larson.
They have no problem with that, and they have no problem with sort of the alternate, and much to their credit for that, right? So they're not opposed to moving away from the Snyder Vision, but they are fond of the Snyder Vision as well, right? And so, props to them for being open-minded and being willing to embrace different takes on things. That's a good thing. But also, maybe don't attack other people in the community because we don't agree with you on the Snyder stuff. That's probably
that's a really bad look. It
Christie,
really
what do you
is.
think of all this?
Justin, let Will back in.
Yeah.
It's my stream. I can do what I want.
I'm just letting you know.
No, he's back there. I might have somebody else come in. That's why I did not know that Will was going to come in.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm staying the hell out of that. I do think it's important, though, because I actually put a video out on this last night, which is probably a bad time to put it out because the video did really poorly considering the algorithm right now. So I probably should have released it this morning as opposed to last night. But whatever. I did a video on this, and I kind of felt like I had to tiptoe around this a little bit, right? It's because there's some people who are really high strung over this right now, like really high strung over this. And you got to keep in mind, guys, we're all friends here.
Mm-hmm.
We're all friends here. We're all geek fans, and we don't always agree, and that's okay. But let's be respectful of each other and each other's opinions. And I respect you guys. If you are Snyderites and if you enjoy this stuff, more power to you. I do not begrudge you your Snyder cuts. And in fact, I celebrate with you because I'm glad that you got it after a long, hard road to hoe. But if I don't agree with you...
Well, come on. Seriously, though, this is the same community that was just bitching at Lucasfilm because they called us names. They called us names because we didn't agree that The Last Jedi was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they called us terrible names. They called us ists and isms and what have you. So, I mean, and that was kind of how this was founded upon. But it's kind of interesting to me that some people are just like, oh, well, you disagree with me on this particular thing. Oh, then you're a terrible person when it comes to this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think anybody took it that far. I don't think anybody took it quite. I don't think anybody started necessarily calling people ists and isms and things like that. But I do think it's important to keep it civil amongst ourselves, if at all possible, and don't necessarily resort to being. I get it. You're excited.
Mm-hmm.
You're excited, and I'm happy for you. But I'm happy for you, not for the DCEU. And I think that's reasonable.
Well, we've been going on this for a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So I'm just going to take another couple of minutes because we do have I don't know if he's technically a Snyderite, but he's a great avatar, and he's been a big proponent of the Snyder Cut. Ladies and gentlemen, Runner Studios.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
And I am a Snyderite. I love Man of Steel, Batman v Superman Ultimate Cut. Talking about canon and stuff, I don't really care at this point. But Jason Momoa did confirm that in the Aquaman movie,
Mm-hmm.
in the Justice League movie, it was towards the end, it was going right towards Aquaman. He confirmed this in an interview.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, there were plenty of parts in the. Or are you talking about the Snyder Cut or in?
I'm talking about the Snyder Cut.
The
Yeah.
Snyder Cut. Okay. I was going to say there were definitely parts that pointed to Aquaman in the the cut that we got, obviously, you know, is down there below with Mirror or whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
But I'm not here to defend the version we got, even though it is a guilty pleasure for myself. No one in their right mind would defend the Justice League that we got. No one would do that, right? Because it was a shitty movie.
It was.
And
I've heard.
Yeah, and I agree that the release of it is important for fandom, like what Andrew said. But I also just sort of feel like this is kind of like a pat on the head, hand a cookie. Please pay for the cookie though. But also like it doesn't ultimately matter in this scheme of things because it doesn't affect anything. And it took how long for you guys to get this? 4 years? Is that right?
Let me do the math here. So Justice League came out 2017. So that's basically almost 3, maybe like 3.5 years.
Okay. So like 3.5 years you guys have been advocating for this. And so now you're getting it chopped up into several parts.
No, 2.5. Well, neither of you can even.
I think there are rumors saying that they are splitting this into like 6 episodes or something.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want it to be one full movie, even if it's 4 hours. I will spend my whole day.
Well, I know that feeling. I wanted an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, not a series, but you know, you get what you get, right? But doesn't mean
I think either works in my opinion.
I think
real quick, I mean, the DCEU is screwed anyway. Batman and Superman are gone. Aquaman's wife is gone. Right?
I agree. The DCEU is screwed.
The Flash is first. The Flashpoint.
They need a reboot, and Flash's first film is Flashpoint. So, oh god, I will not be paying to see Ezra Miller in a movie.
Nothing.
Because here's the thing with DC right now. It's like obviously you can see I am a Marvel fan. I have an Infinity War poster right there, but like. You know, I saw Endgame, and I was like, you know what? This is a good conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
The MCU is ended for good.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about Phase 4. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I said to myself, like, you know what? I think DC has a really good chance if they do this right.
You're cutting out.
He didn't cut out fine. I thought he was fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Runner, I agree with you. That's kind of like how it was for me. It's like I loved Infinity War. After the end of Endgame, I said, I'm done. Mm-hmm. That's a great point. It's great. Yes. Tied everything together from Iron Man all the way till now. Mm-hmm. I'm done with Marvel. Let's see what DCEU is about.
Yeah.
No, you're a Snyder,
like,
right?
Yeah.
You said you're a Snyder. Can I ask you a question? And this is a sincere question. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. This is not an attack. All right. So I want to make sure we go into this. You know that up front. I'm not attacking you. I have nothing but respect for you as a fan, right?
I just wanted to come here and give you what I know of this situation.
So I have a question for you. And this is one of the big problems that I have with Batman versus Superman. And one of the things that I think laid the groundwork for all of the issues that we have now. One of the reasons why I couldn't give two shits about a Snyder cut of the Justice League because of how I feel like he really screwed up the death of Superman. The death of Superman really should have been the Infinity War / Endgame of the DCEU, in my mind, right? Is what it should have been, something that was built up to, led up to, carefully crafted in home so that I could experience that death with the Justice League, who mourned him, genuinely mourned someone who they knew they'd worked alongside, they'd cared for, and they'd saved the world with over and over again. And instead, what we got was this throwaway death because Batman's like, but why'd you say that name? And so we're put in this situation where the second movie in, I've got a death of Superman and no one cares. So why should I care? You don't feel like that would have, I mean, do you like where do you stand on that? Like, how do you reconcile that with your love of, and you're being a Snyderite?
So I understand what you're saying about the Superman death. Like, I can understand how that's a problem and stuff. But here's the thing. It's like with Batman v Superman, when you think about it, like there's the theatrical cut and then there's the Ultimate Edition.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it doesn't change much.
I don't mean to be a dick here, but you guys got 2 minutes because I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm just letting you know.
I mean, by watching it the first time I saw in the theater, I was like, he's not dead. And like, I mean, because the thing is, like, it was mostly the studio that took control of this. That's why Flash was pushed into Justice League, Cyborg, Aquaman, all those characters, because they wanted the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted their Avengers, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and
Snyder,
I agree that the studio is certainly partially responsible for this, but Snyder was
Yeah.
the one who took this on and brought it to life. And look, I've heard that the Ultimate Edition is better, and I won't argue with that because I haven't seen it, mainly because I don't care. But I don't care because there was no way that I was ever going to be able to care, because I got Superman's death and this is how we're doing this. And the reason they're doing it is because he and Batman have a misunderstanding, essentially, is what this boils down to. That's Snyder. Snyder crafted that. Like, I get it. He tried to kind of ham fist Wonder Woman in there to get a little bit of connection. But this was not executed well. And I don't blame Snyder completely for that, but he did decide to take this on. And I do blame Snyder for the Superman we got, which I can't stand there and justify Pa Kent dying when I know that there's literally there been a debate over whether or not Superman and the Flash can race each other and whether or not he can beat the Flash, right? He could have done that in a blink. No one would have known he was gone before he was back, right? These are issues I have with this stuff. This doesn't feel like Superman to me. It's hard to embrace this as Superman.
See, I understand that as well. It's like some people say, like, this isn't my Superman, all that. It's like, he's not really, like in Man of Steel, like, he's not really Superman. This is day one of
But
his
it's not like
job.
he lacks the power either.
And, it's just a modern take. And, I thought that was interesting to me.
Sure, absolutely. I can totally appreciate that.
And, the whole Batman Superman conflict, there's that scene in Batman v Superman where Bruce Wayne sees all the destruction that, he saw Superman fight Zod, he didn't understand what was going on, so he assumed that he was a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just got to say, like, this was a very interesting conversation.
Right.
By the way, I didn't mean to be a dick earlier when I said I don't want to talk about this anymore.
No, I understand.
We have we have a couple more things to talk about, and we spend 42 minutes talking about the Snyder Cut. I just wanted to just very brief. I had intended just very briefly acknowledge it for like maybe 10 minutes, but the fact that this is such a passionate subject for everyone, especially like a lot of people in the chat. I guess that's why, we have a bunch of dislikes because, Mary kept shitting all over it. And I'm just like, wow, thanks.
Hey,
you
don't worry about
you take over the live stream and you give me a bunch of dislikes. How dare you?
I can leave, man.
No, that's okay. I'm just giving you shit. No.
I will say this real quick. I will say this. This is a better conversation than other live streams that I've seen where people were just attacking each other. Right. So this discussion was a hell of a lot better.
This should be like, you guys should have like a Snyderite panel with just like people who, like Ryan Lethal and throwing Cooper there because, by the way, fuck you for that whole Ronald McDonald meme shit and the fast food orders. How dare you?
That was ABC.
That was fucked up.
Yeah,
I got like over 250 notifications from people asking for the damn orders.
The best thing I did.
That was glorious, man. I don't know why you're complaining. That was fantastic.
Okay.
It was funny. It was funny. I just wanted to. I invited you in. I invited you in because, like, first off, I understand that you are, a big fan of the DCEU, especially with Zack Snyder, and I wanted you to be able to have a platform to say your piece and everything. And it'd be nice to have somebody who's a big release a Snyder Cut fanatic, if you will, to say it lightly, come in and kind of defend that side. I think that was very important. Sure. But also, I just wanted to say fuck you for doing that, for doing the. But it was a lot of fun, though. It was a good time. You have
your name is Cooper or Runner? What are we calling you here?
Cooper, yeah.
He'll get over it, Cooper.
It's on my Twitter.
Justin just bitches. Justin
know.
just bitches to bitch. Ignore him.
I don't bitch to bitch. I bitch for a damn reason, Mary. I have reasons why I complain. That's why like me, salty nerd, like we got together. We're like, hey guys, this Back to the Future shit, this is fucked up. They censored Back to the Future. And guess what happened? 48 hours later, it's changed back to the original. Something that they couldn't do in 5 years. And I think this is a good transition. Do you have anything else you want to say, Cooper? By the way, before we move on,
it was nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet all
I
of
think
you.
we're gonna have like, is this your first live stream?
Not entirely actually. I did go on one of Lethal's streams about the fuck Naughty Dog stuff, and I didn't get to talk much. But
look what you did, Justin. He didn't get to talk much here either. I was trying to have a conversation with him.
More time in
Well,
this.
then you can do that on your channel.
Oh God, y'all.
But
Wake me up when you're done.
all right.
Yes.
I don't know. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. But anyone in the fandom menace that want to talk about the Snyder stuff, feel free to have me join in. We're
gonna have to definitely set up something because you seem like a cool guy. Yes. Yeah, I like the bro tank. It's like suits you pretty well. You got the. Did you like like?
I just got back from a run.
Oh no! Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You're cool.
Like,
you're cool. No worries.
Yeah, you have like caps to show off, like drunk 3PO.
Really?
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Really. I'm asking. No. It was a form of flattery.
There are.
Anyways, man, I would love to have you back on again because you seem like a really cool guy. But yeah, man, consider starting a channel. I think people would like to hear your thoughts on the DCAU. For real.
I'm thinking about it.
All right.
I have plans on when this cut is released. I'll probably do a review on it.
Cool.
Yeah, dude.
But
nice. You should.
Well, anyways, man.
Thank you for having me on. This is great.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just welcome to the Fandom Menace. I know you're like a little newer than like a lot of us. I don't know how long you've been around, but I've just seen your face just recently, and I think you're a pretty cool guy. After meeting you, despite those fucking Ronald McDonald memes. But anyways, man, take care.
I'm sorry, man.
And
I had to do that.
You had to.
Thank you so much.
That was not an option. I totally understand that.
I had to do it. I was watching the Fandom Menace live stream, and I was like, yes, like this is a meme. This is a meme right here. When Tom was trolling you, I was like, no, I was like crying, laughing. I was like, damn, like this is like.
I couldn't hear anybody. I was on my break.
That was hilarious.
Damn,
I was like, I gotta make a meme out of this. This is perfect.
That was my punishment for
orders. Like, oh shit.
Tommy just put in the chat again to say people their orders.
What was that?
I started this mess.
Christie?
I was gonna say Tommy just put a little thing in the chat again where they're with your Twitter, like send them your orders, your Twitter.
Did he really?
Just send your orders.
You know how Tommy is.
I'm gonna
All right, Cooper, get the fuck out of here.
Before you go, Cooper, I hope you didn't feel attacked or anything like that. I was just trying to have a conversation with you, Sugar. I think you're great.
I think he was more. I think he was more intimidated by like my aggressive approach like, all right, shut up. No, but dude, I'm so glad that you seem like a really nice guy, and I would love to have you back on sometime. For sure. Yeah, this was a very unexpected live stream. To be honest. Like, so
I just wanted to clarify a few things of what I've heard lately and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You're welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be in touch. All right, take care, man.
My summer break's almost over, so yeah.
All right.
Feel free to invite me back at any time.
Yeah, and I'll take your order and give you like an extra glob of spit, just right in your burger.
Wow.
Jesus, Justin.
I don't know. That was a bad joke. That was a
I don't order burgers in McDonald's, so nice try.
Oh,
Yes, boom.
he has
whatever it is.
standards, Justin.
I'm a breakfast all day guy.
breakfast all day. Pfft, no, get out of
hear
here.
that.
No.
Love McDonald's breakfast.
Why is that
Shoot.
You're all
Great
savage. You're all savages. I cook my own food.
All right. Anyways, man. I do have to move on. So, hey, take care, man.
Of course.
Have a good one.
This is great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
For having me.
All right. Have a good one, man.
I
All right. Look, do I have time to go grab orange juice so I can shoot some vodka before we get into the shit show that is that last night's stream was?
Yes, we could do that. But first, we're going to. I don't think Salty is going to join us today, so I'm just going to do this myself. So while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about this shit that happened to me over the last 48 hours. So go ahead, Mary. Okay, first and foremost, I've been waiting to talk about this all fucking night, and we've been spending 50 minutes talking about a stupid Snyder cut. My God.
Well,
mean-
technically, it was 45 minutes. You said you spent 5 minutes just saying goodbye.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's okay. I understand, but it is what it is.
Understandable.
We'll come back in. Okay, so this fucking
Hello.
imploded.
Just 1 second, Justin.
Oh.
All right,
Can I just say one quick thing?
Sure.
It will literally be a few seconds.
Oh yeah, sure.
I think the problem the big problem behind the Justice League is that BVS was such a divisive film. It seemed people either loved it or hated it, and that is what has created all this problem. And why it seems even now amongst friends there seems to be some tension over the whole thing. So
You're welcome, Runner Studios,
Anyway.
and everybody, go subscribe to his channel. Just so when he does make a video,
Alright.
you will be notified, so he can talk about the Snyder Cut all day, every day. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was very great meeting him. So, anyways, so this shit blew the fuck up over the weekend. Oh my goodness. So I don't know if I don't think Salty is going to be joining us. So Mary, do you really want to? Do you have like? Do you have time to like? talk about this
Feel
for a bit?
informed. Yeah, I got about an hour or so left in me. And which is ample time for me to chug.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I'm gonna be honest with you. So treat me like I'm 2 years old and walk me through this because I don't know exactly what happened. All I know is that some shit went down on Netflix and something got removed or changed or something. And then
I know. I got you.
I want to get a little Justin Hissy fit.
This is what happened. Okay, this is what happened. So Salty Nerd essentially what happened was he was just painting his house or something, painting the walls. Then he was watching Back to the Future Part 2 on Netflix, and then he DM'd me, DM'd this like group, and he was just like, "Hey, they screwed with Back to the Future. There's this thing that's there." And he's like, "Hey, Netflix, you want to explain to me why you edited Back to the Future Part 2 and this specific scene that they edited out?" And I will show you the comparison down below. Do you know that scene with the sports almanac that you see right here? Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison that somebody did just to make it easier for you guys. So before like last night, this is what was on Netflix for the longest time. As you see right here, he's like, "No, it's ooh la la," and then this is cut out entirely. So that whole thing is cut out. That's like a good 5, 6, 7 seconds, and then it just kind of jumps back. So to look at the tweet that I posted, the one that I did, this is what it looks like without the comparison. I don't think you could hear it, but you don't have to. So he goes, he finds it in the trash. He's like, "Yes." He's like, "Oh my gosh, it's a 50s lingerie magazine." He's like, "No, quick random cut, and then quick back there. Like
Right. This is when he's looking at the almanac, and it's basically a cover for the nudie mags.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. He basically what they took out. They took out just like the cover, because apparently this tame cover from like the 1950s, which isn't even risque.
No.
The pictures in the book are more they're more
at
than the
public
cover of it. And they edited out. They went out of their way to edit 7 seconds out of it for whatever reason. And
the reason being, I can tell you why they did it, because it's considered risque, even if you can see more at your local public pool, right? It's the implication of it, right? So it's the censoring of something.
It's a PG movie.
I literally just saw something earlier today on Netflix where they showed a woman's boobs. So
Netflix is not one of those kinds of platforms that are just not like, it's not like they're not okay with showing nudity.
No, because I've seen some, I've seen plenty of nudity on Netflix.
Yeah.
But what you have here is basically another case of digital book burning.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
they go
right,
and they change it, and it changes the fundamental plot point in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point that I want to bring up.
I think it's not that it's actually nudity that.
Thank you, Andrew. Netflix has The Witcher.
Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
No,
but
I think for them it's the point of it might be the rating of the movie as well, right? So
Jaws is PG though.
I hear you, but look, they've been out censoring, right? So the goal is to take everything that once was and to make it fit today's standard, right? And so they probably felt they could get away with this because it's
right.
All things considered, they probably felt it's 7 seconds. Most people probably won't even notice, right? Well, joke's on you. Apparently, you don't know fans that well, because yes, we do notice this stuff. And you were right, Lorena. This sort of alters a bit of a fundamental plot point here. The plot point being that this is a cover for his obscene behavior, right? And so you don't get that now, right? You don't get this sort of, even if it's a sort of minor plot point, it is a plot point, and it does speak to the overall character of the principal, right?
And this is something that I got to highlight Indiana Jeremy's comment on here. He said, that was terrible. If they don't show the book's title, it just sounds like he's saying ooh la la because he saw the girls in the book. God, what a fail. Yeah, so it makes Marty like, look at him. He's like, yes. And he's like, no. And he's like, ooh la la. It just seems weird. It's jarring. It's a sloppy edit, and it's pathetic. It's absolutely, and here's the thing. Like, Disney Plus has been guilty of this for a number of different cases.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch is one.
Lilo and Stitch, The Simpsons aspect ratio and all that. They edited out Lisa's birthday with Michael Jackson for reasons. And then of course there was Splash. Yeah. There's Splash. With was it like the underwater scene? Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
On the beach.
No, sorry, on the beach.
It was her running back into the ocean.
Right. So
yeah, it was her running back into the ocean. I don't think the problem with this is the fact that you see a semi-naked woman. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the fact that they think a magazine like that is objectifying, and that's why they decided to edit that scene out, because objectification of women is wrong think nowadays, as we know.
Were you
if it was a magazine full of nudie men, then it'd be fine.
This is another point that I want to bring up. Meaty too. So okay. So here's another problem that I have with this. That I had initially. By the way, just to point this out, just to make this very crystal clear, Netflix did correct this error, and I have to applaud them for that, for doing it so quickly, which really surprised me. However, and I think. Never mind. I thought somebody else came in. Guess it's Mary twice. Oh, There we go. You good?
Yep, I'm good.
All right. So, where was I? Okay. So the thing with this is that you have this situation where it is a PG movie. A PG movie. Who invented the PG-13 rating? Steven Spielberg. I can't believe I have to. His name is on the fucking DVD. It's the first thing that you see. The first thing you see after the logo. And he invented the rating. They had the option. They had the option in 1989 to make it PG-13, but they didn't. They made it PG. So no excuses. There's literally no excuse for why this should be censored in any way. And if this was not rectified so quickly, I would be even more livid. But I'm just like trying to, I'm trying to put you guys in the mindset of where I was at, or a lot of people were at when this was all blowing the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And this is the.
Have you heard?
Yep.
Have you heard Tom from Midnight's Edge's theory on this?
I believe so, but go ahead. What did he say?
Well, his theory is simply that he noticed on another streaming platform he's got that there's a family-friendly setting, and if you put it on that, it automatically edits out any naughty bits when you play something. His opinion is that potentially, anyway, Netflix are playing around with a similar feature, and it was just stuck on for this film.
Really, the naughty bits?
Watched it.
Really? So all the
Apparently
swearing, all the holy shits like in that film are still intact. The swearing is fine, which makes sense for some reason.
I'll be completely honest.
Well, I don't know.
You know how when movies have a TV cut, they have those really weird edits so they fit into about an hour or an hour and a half with adverts in between?
Mm-hmm.
That's almost what that feels like here, but for Netflix that makes no sense because it just pauses it. Well, I assume if there's an advert, it just pauses the video. So it feels really odd to have it. It feels like an edit that's done to shorten the movie rather than sort of deliberately moving any content.
But what's the point of even shortening the movie? Like, I don't really understand what the point of shortening the movie would be. It's 7 seconds.
For commercials that don't exist.
Yeah,
this isn't television. But here's the kicker to this. This actually goes a little bit deeper. We're gonna dive a little bit deeper into this. So, I found this by doing a little bit of digging. This was back in coincidentally 2015. This person posted on Facebook, why is Back to the Future 2 censored on Netflix? Some seconds of the scene where Marty finds Ooh La La are missing just when the cover of the magazine is shown. Please try to fix Netflix's sin. They can't do this to the best trilogy ever. So this is not new. This has been a thing. This has flown under the radar for over 5 years.
Wow.
Over 5 years. A few years ago on Reddit, people were saying, "Oh, I was watching the second movie and noticed the scene jumping at Strickland's office. Marty recovers the almanac," basically saying the exact same thing. I thought it was a funny slip to skip 1 second of lingerie model for the American prudes. So I guess this was a Brit. Maybe this is the UK Netflix version too. So maybe I don't know. Maybe it was on all platforms. But yeah. So yeah, like they're like, "Hey, what the heck is this? I'm in the US." And they're like, "Yep, what is even the point?" They still showed pictures in the book, but not the cover for some reason. And people have made the argument. There's another argument that I want to just shut down right away. I mean, not to be a dick or anything, but they said, "Oh, it might be for some copyright issues." It is a made-up fictional magazine that they made up for the movie. How could you have copyright for a made-up magazine that they did for the movie?
I don't think anybody here would make that argument. I do question, like, what is the motivation behind this? Well, nobody here would, though, right? So, what is the motivation behind this? It's certainly not for the sake of being a prude, because people who watch Back to the Future see a son get kissed by his mom, right? You can't exactly cut that scene.
The peeping Tom scene.
the peeping Tom scene. There are lots of things about Back to the Future that are way more risque than that one single moment. So I don't feel like this is being cut for that. I feel like it's probably for time, though I can't imagine what the reasoning behind that would be. It does just seem like a bit of a weird thing to cut. I'm not sure that there's any malevolence behind this, that there's any,
I don't think so either.
sinister reasoning for it. I just feel like this is just a decision some executive made somewhere to cut a little bit, right? So
this could have been a genuine mistake that was not made very clear to Netflix for 5 years, even though people were talking about it. And what I wanted to bring up was, this was interesting. This was from the Huffington Post in France. They had made the side-by-side comparison back in October. It's got 64,000 views. And somehow Netflix did not get word of this. I don't know how. And the translation for the, I thought it was funny, the translation for the description was, Netflix censored Robert Zemeckis' cult film, inaccurate, Back to the Future 2. In the absence of reaction from the streaming platform, internet users wonder because it is clear that a piece of scene has been cut at the moment when the image reveals the cover of a charming magazine. So that's actually a very nice way of putting it. I thought that was quite interesting. So the point of that is just like, this is not new. This has been an issue for some time, and it wasn't until Salty and I had made those tweets and made it, I guess, a big deal, and people finally started to realize it just a couple of days ago. And then outlets like Bounding into Comics, you got One Angry Joe. You got all of these like all these different articles. It's taken a little bit to load. Like, fans are not having it. It's caught. Netflix is caught censoring. I mean, like, all of these like different articles now have popped up in the wake of this madness. And I'm just like, and for me, the only thing that I did really was just like kind of retweet it, and just kind of like, I didn't know where it was going to go. And the point of the tweet, I'm just going to bring that up for a second. The point of this was to basically just point out and say, if I can bring it up here, it doesn't take freaking forever. The point of that was, if they sloppily edited this beloved trilogy, who knows what other films they've tampered with without you even noticing. And this is something that went under the radar again for 5 years, probably longer, for as long as Netflix has had the streaming rights to Back to the Future.
Well, obviously we only just found about this now, but this kind of thing has been something we've been warned about. Gary at Nerdrotic and Doomcock, they've said this is the kind of thing that will happen if we're not careful. And this is just proof. Hell, it's proof before they even suggested it might happen. 5 years ago? That's a long time. Might not have been malicious, but still.
I think it's difficult. I don't think you should say that it flew under the radar, because clearly people did notice, right? Even HuffPo, even if it was, what did you say, was France? The HuffPo? It was
the French Huffington Post.
So if French Huffington Post can pick it up and no one makes commentary on it, I would say that it just didn't quite get caught the way that it needed to get caught by Netflix. So it's not completely flown under the radar here, but it certainly didn't get as noticed as it should have been. I don't know that I'd sound a dog whistle over it either, though, because I think you're talking. I will grant you that Back to the Future is a beloved trilogy. And certainly,
be careful here, Mary.
I was literally granting you it's a beloved trilogy, right? Now, I wouldn't call it the greatest trilogy of all time, because there are plenty of contenders for that.
That's for me.
Well, you've got Lord of the Rings. Many people would contend that that's the greatest trilogy of all time. You've got Star Wars, the original trilogy, which I would contend is the greatest trilogy of all time. Yes, our Alliance and Digital.
It's close. It's close.
Yes, I do believe that you should have physical copies of things. I think that that's important.
That is one of the main points that that everyone was making in the comments. Was just like physical media is the only thing that you can't alter. This is why I enjoy like having things on a piece of paper, and writing shit down and printing it out. You can't delete a piece of paper. Yeah, you can burn it, you could throw it away, whatever. It can
Yes,
get
you can.
scratched, to death. And that's always sucks, but you can't delete
Take
it.
care of your shit, people. You can delete it. There are things that can strip them, but the idea that someone would come into your home, like we'd have to be in a very different state of affairs for someone to come in your home and strip you of your personal media.
Yeah,
Right.
and this is actually probably one of the reasons, not to go a little too off topic, but this is how the Star Wars Holiday Special still exists, because people can't delete that because they recorded it and they kept it.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be erased.
And now
Oh, they
it's on
tried.
YouTube.
Now it's on YouTube.
And if you
Wow.
haven't seen that,
They
you
tried,
should go
though.
watch it.
It's
Yeah.
it's worse
It's-
than The Last Jedi. I'm sorry.
it's-
It's worse. It
but
just is.
It is. It's got that nostalgia value, so at least it's
It
got a little bit of
It's a
that going
different
for it.
kind of
I would
work.
rather sit and watch that on a loop
No.
than the
Also,
Last
no,
Jedi.
also,
Yeah.
there's obscenity in that too. There's obscenity in that when Grandpa Wookiee is looking at that,
Yeah.
right? He's like, tell me your
That happened
desires.
in the living room as
And he's
well.
like there
I will-
going, is this Wookiee porn? Like, what's going on right now? Like,
I will offer up the point that the holiday special contributed to Star Wars lore without destroying everything that came before it.
Great point, Jeremy. I
That
agree
is-
with that.
That's its one defense.
They're
That is
two
one
different.
defense.
They're
yeah, but
they're
I
both
can't handle
very
Star
terrible in totally different ways.
Sir
Totally.
Sir, and sitting there through literally the construction of a device, like the entire
It's, uh,
putting together of a
it's,
device. I don't know.
it's,
It's
I did not
it's
go
a
to
great
IKEA.
movie.
Like, I'm not trying to
It-
make a trip to IKEA right now. Like,
That movie is a great movie to watch when you're
stoned.
under the influence. Yeah, there you go. I was going to say under the influence.
no, it's not.
Say it, stoned out your mind.
No, it's not. It's not a great movie to watch at any time.
It really isn't. It actually hurts my brain more than more than anything else. But you know what's weird? Okay, so to kind of wrap this up, like there is well, I guess this part of the show. What really, I mean, I just recently saw in Argentina there was a newspaper outlet on this. There was an article on it, and so now I'm getting all of these retweets in Spanish, and people are still thinking that Netflix has edited this, and the word has not got out that they fixed it enough. So I just want to make that very clear. They did fix it, and this is a huge win, which makes me think like this guy, he pointed out this thread's an absolute lie. He's like, I'm watching it right now and it's fine. But that made something go oh my gosh, they actually changed it. They actually did change it. We actually did make an impact, and which is just something that that can't be taken away from us. We got 2 wins yesterday. 2 wins for fans. The Snyder Cut and Back to the Future Part 2 is now the same. It's
Yes.
restored.
Can we just point out that some jackhole on Twitter can't acknowledge that something was legitimately jacked up, even though you have a side-by-side comparison sitting right there. They're like, as usual, y'all are freaking out.
When did he send?
No,
when was
he
his
didn't.
tweet?
He actually didn't. To be fair, he just replied to Salties. He didn't see the other one.
He called the thread an absolute lie.
Yeah, but
Well,
you see,
he didn't do his research. He called
He
you all
didn't.
liars without doing his research.
Yeah, he did. And by the way, it is. I'm looking at it right now. Yep, it is very much intact. Just with that screenshot alone, we don't really
How
need
many
to see it.
tabs do you have open, Justin? Jesus effing! What are you doing right now?
I was doing this for a video earlier.
How much of this is porn?
Do you want to see all of them? Yeah.
No,
no wonder your
none of them.
internet's so slow.
Jesus. What the hell?
That was a great picture, by the way.
You don't
What,
have
this
to
one?
prove it right now.
No, the one before that.
Oh, this?
Yeah, that's a great picture.
It is. It really
Yeah,
is.
it is.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Also, it made me feel good. It made me
I'm
feel
still
good that he
waiting for
mentioned
the
it all of
call.
these different articles that I was like,
I
yay,
saw
I did
that.
something.
I saw that and I wanted to be like, 1.21 gigawatts.
I know.
You know, Alan Silvestri, who did the music for Back to the Future, also did the music for Predator and
Really?
Judge Dredd as well.
Lots of films.
Yeah.
Wow.
By the way, whenever I hear the Avengers theme, I think of Back to the Future.
Mhm.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah, it's the same.
Hmm.
It's the
It
same
is the
guy,
same
Alan
except with-
Silvestri.
No,
Yep.
it's the exact same notes except less of them. That's
Mhm.
why I just like, I don't know, the Avengers theme. I'm like, this is kind of lame. But oh well.
I've never- I've
I'm
not
kidding.
known
I'm
to-
kidding. By the way, I love it, but you know, it sounds very similar.
I'm pretty sure Alan Silvestri did the Captain America soundtrack as well. Actually,
He did.
great career.
Anyways, we did go a little bit over time, but we go. I know you, Lorena and Christie. I know you got like the Queen's Council right after this.
I can stay. I ain't hosting this week.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're coming over to my house to crash and eat and drink all my liquor and stuff.
Oh, you're hosting?
Yes, I'm hosting.
I'd have
Hopefully they
brought a
don't have
bottle with me. How about that?
hey, that works too.
You're hosting? Oh my!
Yes, I am. I
Yes,
am hosting.
finally,
I am
Lorena's
hosting this
making
week.
content. Yes.
Yep, I've been
Yeah,
streaming
yeah,
for a couple of things. So
yeah, you missed her first live stream, asshole.
Yeah.
I go back and watch it.
She's had like 4 live streams. Is it
No,
3 or 4?
Three streams up.
Even I was there for the first one.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
When was this? Did this
Going
start like
Coke.
this week?
It's like a week ago Sunday.
Oh,
Week ago Sunday, I started streaming
After
on my
much
channel.
poking and prodding, Lorena
Yes,
doing this thing.
yes.
I love it.
Lighting
I'm gonna have to
fire
check it
under
out.
me, and Christie and everybody. So yep, you gotta go check it out. So Queen's Council is on my channel at
Ooh.
9 p.m.
I love it. I
Oh,
love
it's
it so much.
it's at 9.
It's at 9.
Okay, I'll make this
Nine
really
Eastern?
quick then, because there is something like there is something that I wanted to bring up because Mary was on, and I'm just gonna make this. I'm gonna make this quick because we normally don't go for this long, but it has been so fun right now. I've had a great time. Like even with the Snyder Cut stuff, you know, I was just like, okay, this is fun. I thought we were just only going on for an hour, but now that I know that, like, okay, we have a little bit more time, I feel a little better, and I feel a little bad for kicking Cooper out so quickly. Just like, get the fuck out. You have 2 minutes.
You're a dick. You're a dick.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Just a
Well,
little bit.
I would offer up the point, if you ever need to be a dick, just have me say it.
No, he's perfectly capable of being a dick all on his own. He's got
Thank
that.
you. Thank you, Mary.
No.
Appreciate that.
I'm allowed to.
That
I'm
goes
allowed
back
to.
to something that-
You are, and you twat waffle. You.
No.
How dare you.
that goes back to the very first thing I said. Did you not start an hour earlier today than usual?
No, I do not.
Same time.
Hey, you're frozen on my end, Justin. It's probably because all that porn you got open. So maybe close some
How
up.
about now?
You're fine now.
No, it's not like that girl
Okay,
on
I just
Twitch.
closed all of those tabs, so it just took a second for it to like be like, oh, I just needed to breathe. The
Yeah.
computer. Goodness.
So are
Okay.
you sure you want to talk about this? Because you might well get your stream taken down too.
Yeah, and we've had such a great time, but you know what? I think it's worth it. But anyways, before we move on to that, whoever decided to just edit that Back to the Future thing, I think it was a mistake. But if there was a creative decision to do that, all I have to say about this person is
He's an asshole.
and that's it. Or here's a nicer way of saying
He's
it.
a very strange young man.
He's an idiot. Comes from upbringing. Parents are probably idiots too.
I love that line.
I had to throw that in there before it was too late. I'm probably gonna use both of those for a very long time.
I still try to find reasons to use my Billy Madison. Like, that is the grossest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I love that one too.
Or like what you just said was the most insanely idiotic thing.
No, man, I keep trying to find an excuse to use. If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. Like,
Oh dear God! And speaking of dear, oh my,
dear
oh Mary, you're sharing it.
I shared
Okay.
my tweet. I shared my tweet. So I didn't speak a lot about this last night after it went down. I just made a post on Twitter to kind of let everybody know what exactly had happened and why I was pulled down for terms of service breach last night. And it's sitting at almost 550 likes. So that's crazy. 66 retweets. This tweet blew up in terms of my standards. I don't have a lot of tweets that get over 500 likes or over 50 retweets. So that was pretty impressive. And I think that probably goes to show that people are sick of the censorship, right? Aspect of everything.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah. And then Lorena's top comment right there. I love it. I love it.
Well, I suppose the only words
does it say?
the only words I have are "don't eat grass, people."
Oh my God.
Brain. It must be messing with your brain. So to try to tiptoe around this, because I don't want you to get pulled down for terms of service here, terms of service breach. We were discussing Ferociously Steph, which is the new member over on Twitch's new safety advisory council. Okay. And she is a person who is, we'll say
Well, technically, she's not a person. She's
hold on. I'm trying to.
Yes, yeah. We have to. That's a microaggression. We can't call her a person. It would be very offensive to humanize her. That would be very.
No, I know
offensive.
you guys are making jokes, but they pulled my stream down last night because of this. Okay, so I'm trying to be respectful of you here, and I know it's all fun and games until they rip your stream down and you don't even get to finish reading super chats, right? So, which, by the way, thanks guys for the super chats that I didn't get to read last night. I really apologize. I didn't get to finish reading super chats. So we were discussing this person who is in transition and thinks that they're deer is what we were discussing. And we were making an argument that perhaps they are in need of compassion, we'll say, that they perhaps needed.
There's no perhaps about it.
Well, I'm trying to be careful here with my words because I don't want to be the reason that Justin.
Yeah, no.
I will be the reason, and I'm gonna. We'll wait. Just keep going.
And they definitely need compassion. They definitely need help.
Yes, and I agree with that. I agree with that. And someone in my chat, and this happened. We got pulled off right after this happened. So I'm pointing at this as the reason why. When I disagreed with it, so clearly they weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
So what they had said was that nuts like this need to be locked up, and I highlighted the comment and I said I disagree. I don't believe that's true at all. I don't believe that.
No, that wouldn't.
Why would you highlight that?
Well, I highlighted it because I disagree with it. It's a discussion. I like to have a discussion with my chat as well.
No,
right?
Did you say it out loud?
Yeah.
Yes, but let's not have the context. But no, Justin. Here's the problem with that. Is that all context is thrown aside. Right? All context is thrown aside. It doesn't matter where I stand on the subject. It doesn't matter that this is a civil conversation, a debate even, and then I'm in defense to some extent of this person, right? That doesn't matter. None of that matters. All of that context is thrown aside because as far as YouTube is concerned, unless when you speak about these matters, you are 110% on the side of the person that what they're doing and thinking and feeling is okay and that we should accept it as normalcy, you're wrong. You're a bigot and you violated terms of service. And that is YouTube's stance on it. Never mind that I do defend this person because I don't believe that they should be. That discussion isn't allowed to take place on the platform of YouTube anymore. Nope.
No, it's not.
Not allowed to happen.
No, nor on Twitter.
So that was why I'm going to assume that's why I was pulled down. Will I joke? I'll joke about a person eating grass in their yard. Because Who you can't transition from a person to a deer.
Thank
That's
you.
not-
Thank you. I thought it was just tree people like that were a thing, but no, there's this whole rabbit hole that probably exists too in its own little section. But these people who
they've got a name for it.
It's one thing. It's one thing if you dress up as a furry in a costume. It's another thing to actually genuinely believe that you are a deer, that you're a turtle, that you're a tree, or you're a cat. Like that. Like, come on. Like, I mean, how is this like a discussion? How is this possible? Like, why? Why are we like these people? Like, I mean. They need people around them who aren't just enablers, who aren't enabling this behavior.
And there is an enabler. There's an enabler that's been pretty clear and apparent in most of the videos that that you see that have been put on Twitter, or in the videos that she does on Twitch. And notice I refer to her with the she, because those are the pronouns that she prefers, right? Thankfully, she hasn't asked for deer pronouns. I don't even know what that would be, right?
Yeah, like I go by Your Highness pronouns. I will only go by that's a whole different conversation, though.
I think,
of course, Your Majesty.
Like if you want, I'll refer to you to D-Do Derp. I don't know what is that. I don't know what to refer to you as, but
you'd have to call her a doe.
This discussion for me, that's the point, is that this discussion has been shut down. We're no longer allowed to discuss this in the negative, or you are a bigot. If you think that it is abnormal and that there's something wrong with a human being who goes outside and eats grass and grazes like an animal, you're a bigot. And the discussion around that is no longer acceptable. You can't have it because you are a bad person. If you look at that,
anything other than complete agreement is bigotry.
Yeah.
Well, I would offer up one point that I think could be had, is that these people should be careful what they eat. Grass in itself grass in and of itself is not poisonous.
No, it's not. But you can't sit there and eat grass all day and expect to survive.
Yeah, very low nutritional value.
Thank you, Christie, for the super sticker, the hot dog.
The point I would make is
I appreciate that. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, though. Do you identify as a hot dog?
I identify as a hot dog. Eat me.
I would say that if you're going, I would push Anna's point that she made the other night on John Talk's stream, and that is, if you're a deer, then go all the way with it. Don't hand me this nonsense of, in order to get in touch with my inner deer, my sweetheart, ma'am, is it ma'am? I don't know what you are. Person, the thing, entity. If you're a deer, then here's what I need you to do. I'm going to drop a salt lick.
Live in the forest.
I'm going to drop a salt lick outside. I live not too far from a wooded area, okay? And I'm going to leave some feed out, all right? It's going to be dried up corn. It's going to be really hard on your teeth. I hope you have what you are required to have. I want you to go out in the woods, and then every spring, I want you to be terrified for your life, because men in camo are going to come out, and they're going to sit in deer stands up in trees and take pot shots at you.
Oh, it's not just that she has to be afraid of. She has to be afraid of the rut every year too.
Do you?
If she's a deer and a stag takes a liking to her, she's in trouble.
No. It would be viewed as competition because it also has antlers. So it would be misgendered as a male deer.
Well, no.
Careful. You got to be careful.
That depends. That depends on what kind of deer she thinks she is. And here's a little factoid for you. You know Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer?
Oh my God.
Rudolph is a girl. Now Rudolph is a girl.
Rudolph is a buck.
Reindeers, male reindeers. Yeah, no, Rudolph's a girl because male reindeer lose their antlers at Christmas time. So Rudolph has got antlers. It can only be a girl. So Rudolph is trans. or she's just got.
Careful, you gotta be careful, dude. You're gonna get us pulled.
Well,
I
No,
think
it's so fun.
That's, that's a genuine fact.
I know it's a fact, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what facts are anymore, Will.
Yeah.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah,
I
fair
think
point.
I think my initial point towards eating grass is that while it is not poisonous in and of itself, because of the world we live in, you never know what's been sprayed on it by a person.
I hope dogs poop and pee all over that stuff that she's got to go snack on.
Well, that's
Depends on the type of grass.
That's the suggestion I was making. You should, if you're going to eat grass, you need to be very, very careful.
I think she should own it. If you're a little deerkin, you don't get to eat the chat. And you certainly shouldn't be operating a computer, nor do you have any business telling anyone on Twitch how to conduct their affairs, because the only noises you should be making would be meh. That's it.
Yeah, be like the woman who lived. There was the woman who lived among the apes or like the wolves or something. I don't know. She actually did it. She actually went. She went the full route, like, you know. And yeah, that was a good point that you mentioned earlier. That if you're gonna do it, go all the way. I mean, but if you're gonna try to be
talking about Jane
hybrid, like,
Goodall?
it doesn't work.
To be fair, that was Anna's point. I
No.
said the other night when I was on with her and John Talks.
No, you made a good point bringing it up.
But I do. I think that, look, you don't get to demand that people treat you like a deer and give you head scritches and have deergasms on screen, on camera, in front of everyone, right? You shouldn't be. Don't be pushing that down everyone's throat. Yeah, Dave, you got it? Yes.
Yes.
Are you serious right now?
Can you hear it?
Big
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Really?
Fucking boomerang! God damn it!
I just want to make a side tangent. Roid Rage Ryan is my favorite aspect of the Phantom Menace.
Oh yeah, it is. It's
That never gets old.
I had to do it.
That never gets
You guys want to
old.
see it again? Do you want to see it again?
Not particularly.
We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it one more time.
Play it to that certain point, and then at the very end.
What's at the very end?
A big thanks. I hate it. Everything that's happened. God! Fucking boomerang! God damn it!
I love how you just hear Jeremy in the background.
Okay, pause it. Pause it.
What?
I didn't know if you wanted to play this part or not, but it's like the last 3 or 4 seconds is where Ryan is like.
It's actually called.
Actually, white supremacists.
Oh my lord! Oh god! Wow, that's always that's a funny clip. I'm sorry, Mary. You've probably seen it 1,000 times, but you just saw it 1,002 times. Boom. There you go.
No, but in terms of like the actual like discussion of everything, like this discussion isn't allowed, right?
Right.
It's not allowed to have this discussion. And as weird and bizarre as all of this is, what's more bizarre is that we're not allowed to talk about it.
I'm curious. Is what's this person's name on Twitter?
Let's not like.
Hold on. Yeah, I was gonna say, please look. Under no circumstances am I advocating that people should go to her channel and give her hell. I don't care. Right?
That's true.
I do not think that we should. She is ferociously Steph on Twitter. Do not go harass this person, guys. Do not. It doesn't make us look good. Okay, it's not a good look for us. Okay.
Well, I will say just I can't help but to just I can't wrap my head around this whole thing of like you're not human, like you identify as a deer, a frog, a turtle,
the reason
you identify as a piece of paper floating in the wind. I mean, like I don't understand this.
But there's a reason you can't understand that, Justin.
Justin, I can explain this to you very simply. Think back when you were a toddler. You would pretend at times, you were a dinosaur. You'd think you're a dinosaur. Maybe not you, but kids pretend they're animals. They think they're animals. They believe it for a short time.
Mm-hmm.
That's all this is. It's just infancy in adulthood. That's literally all it is. Nobody ever said to them, you're too old for that now. And it's just carried on. That's why you see people in the 30s throwing absolute tantrums when they don't get their way, or when people are going to see Ben Shapiro or something. It's just infancy in an adult brain.
Yeah.
Right.
Simple as that.
I mean, yeah, that totally makes sense. But we got to wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to go down the line. Lorena, you got the Queen's Council on your channel?
Yes, I do. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am Lorena Creole on Twitter, and Lorena Creole on YouTube. And tonight we are hosting the Queen's Council on my channel, which I just started recently. We are going to be talking the DCEU. We're going to be talking about the Batwomen drama that's going on. Who? Batwomen. Somebody called her Batman, and I freaking lost it. Batman. And also some friendly chat about the Snyder Cut. I have no dog in the fight whatsoever, so I'm just an interested party. And we'll have Danny from Comics Chat on as a guest, and we're also going to have another special guest on as well. So give me a follow on Twitter if you're so inclined. Come on over at 9:00. Check us out at the Queen's Council, and hope to see you around. And with that, I'm going to disappear. Bye, everyone. I gotta go hide my booze and bribe the cops later.
Girl.
And Christie.
I mean, how the hell do I talk that? Seriously. Other than go to her channel and watch us in about 15 minutes. There you go. I'll tap that. But for real,
this is where the party's going to continue.
This is, as always, it's great to be on here, Justin. And it, again, Spartan Jeremy, Will, Mary.
I'm sorry you didn't get to talk as much.
I know. I was just like, I'll let them talk. It is what it is, but it's fine. But again, tomorrow is what I call Walmart After Dark, where we literally just go over peoplewalmart.com. And it depends on what we find, because I might make my thumbnail Justin Proper again, like I did with the Ronald McDonald one.
Oh, why? No, make it. Hold on.
No, don't, Justin, don't do it, please.
Why?
I already know what clip you're going to show.
I'm not showing a clip. I know. Why? What's wrong with it?
I don't know.
You know that. Come on. What's wrong with it?
I know.
Come on, Mary. I don't know if you've seen this before, but there's nothing wrong with this.
Okay, go ahead, show it.
Yeah, I'm going to. Oh my goodness.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh no, not that.
Oh, what am I looking at?
This is Drunk 3PO.
Why did I think for a second that was Drunk 3PO?
Yeah, this is some random guy at Walmart. It's Drunk 3PO. Tell me that it isn't. Tell me that it isn't.
No, that's not Jay. It is.
That
ear is not handsome enough to be Jay.
I know. But come on, let's entertain the idea that.
I'm sorry, I can't look. The hat's the same, but look at that. That's not nearly masculine or pretty enough to be Jay.
I'm just going to say the hair's not long enough either.
Yeah.
What's with like this little weird face that's in his like pocket? I never
Those are
understood
holes, Justin.
that. It's
Yeah,
like a face.
That's not a face. That's not a face. Look, there's too many holes to be a face.
That's a
But
very
when we
deformed
saw
Two
this-
eyes, a mouth, and then like whatever that is.
Exactly.
when
That's
we-
not a thing. That hole's not a thing. It doesn't.
It's not a complete face. You ruin everything, Mary.
All I know is when I pulled that up, Justin and Tom from Midnight's Edge lost their shit. I mean,
We did.
I kind of kept having to go back to that picture, and it was funny. I will admit it was funny, but it's just I was like, I can't unsee that. So go to Justin Proper's Twitter and send him your McDonald's orders.
Yeah, I would like some chicken nuggets.
I'm not gonna send another order because I'm still waiting on the last one.
I know.
Right now. In fact, I'm ordering DoorDash right now. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Mary, but Krista ordered all the chicken nuggets.
No. No. What's a first chicken nugget?
You can yell at Krista for that. She
No, I can't
started
yell at
it.
Krista. She's not feeling well. So
Well, then it'll give her motivation to get up out of bed, and get well. Get well now. Don't get well soon. Get well now, Krista. We need you.
No wonder Krista's not feeling well. That's what happens when you eat too many chicken nuggets.
I was gonna say I gotta go because Lorena, she needs. Yeah. Bye, guys.
You can go fuck yourself, Andrew. No, no,
Wait,
you don't get a
say?
strawberry shake. No, go away.
Wait, what are you
Yo.
talking about? What about a strawberry shake? Where's my
No, you don't get that. No.
I can go just look in the chat, dude. You can't stop the world. I'm just saying.
I understand. All right, Will, you got anything to say before we go off?
No.
Spartan?
I have many things to say, but I should probably learn to shut up once in my life.
Well, that's a lesson I should learn. Actually, not so much you. You need to talk more. And of course, terrible customer service. Oh, piss off!
Where's your manager?
You're terrible.
Where's your manager? What are you, Karen? Oh my goodness, Andrew's a Karen now. He's asking for the manager. How dare you? Anyways, Mary, go on. My YouTube bestie. By the way, I still have this.
Get the fuck out of here, man. No. This is bullshit. Well, hi, guys. I am Mary B. I am the mistress of mayhem, disruptor of the narrative, and official women card holder. You can find me over on my channel, Mary Mayhem, where I talk about newsy news stuff during the week. You can also find me over on Midnight's Edge on Mondays for Toxic Femininity, as well as Geeks and Gamers. So feel free to come check me out.
Yep. I'm Justin Proper. I just had a couple of videos explaining the whole Back to the Future situation. So if you missed it in this stream, you can go and get the abridged version in my videos. The first of which is doing really well. I have no idea how the second one's doing. Probably doing all right. I got a lot of new subs, and the last 48 hours has been nothing but Back to the Future stuff. And I just want to rewatch the movies now because they are complete on Netflix. And oh my goodness, this has been a crazy time. Thank you all so much, my proper compadres. Live long and proper. And as always, have a great day.